Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the show. I am starting things up to make sure that we're all good for the show. Indeed, welcome. If you have any comment, then just pop it in, just write it down. I will see it and I will be talking about it. So, welcome to YouTube. I am now currently going to go to Facebook and start Facebook as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to also the Facebook stream. Wow, what a week it was! A great week, but also a interesting week, to say the least. Indeed, you are here in my studio here in the Netherlands, and we will be doing a show in roughly 9 minutes from now. And I really, really appreciate each and everybody of you to be here. I will see your comments right here. But before I do that, I just want to say hello and to welcome again to you guys. Last week we restarted the process of having a Facebook show again, which I'm really pumped about. And we will be talking today about the WWDC. So if you're just joining, then please let me know. Just write it down, because if I see you here, I can actually also refer to you and that kind of stuff. Like, for instance, Kathleen just did. She says, Hello, Kathleen. Welcome. Great of you to be here. I'm actually a bit of a strange thing is today that I am actually at this moment having my pajamas on. come to think of it, it is very warm here in the Netherlands at this moment, and I'm not sure if it's warm in the area that you live. But it is certainly here. I just took a quick shower, and I'm really pumped to make this a good day for you, evening for myself. So I just popped to the question, did you see the WWDC and what did you like about it? Just put that into the comments and we can discuss that once we reach the time. And the time is roughly 7 minutes and 20 seconds before we start the show. So, but before I do that, let's just talk about what I have done this past week, because I always do that. I just give you a quick tour of what I do during the week. As you probably know, is that I have a day-to-day job, which is at ASML here in the Netherlands, and it was a great week. Everything that I have planned to do actually did go correctly, but that was great. And I see a lot of people joining, so I'll just talk about that in a minute. Don't worry, I see you guys. I see Amy, for instance, and Kathleen. But I was just about to say that everything I touched this week was great. It worked like a charm. It did. It started actually on Sunday, because on Sunday, of course, we built the Y-wing of the Star Wars, and I'll just show you around in a minute what I've done with the with my display, because that's also something that I did. I actually redid my whole display that I have right here on outside of this shot at this moment. But I did a full rebuild of it, a little bit closer to me, because then you have a little bit more to look at during the show, during the main camera, which is quickly this camera. This camera is the main camera, so that's where you can see a little bit more of that in a minute, not now. Let me see what I've ever done. Oh yeah, I also did some cool stuff with the Live View Solo, and we're not going to talk about it thoroughly today, but what I did is actually I hooked up two of these beautiful systems. I have to admit, they are beautiful. And then checked if I can put them in sync, and that would be a very good thing if you have a not so much budget as, for instance, BBC and CNN, etc. have. I think like almost everybody that is watching. So that is something that I've also been working on, which was successful. And let me see. Yeah, I went to a great conference about business intelligence. Not really for this tech kind of stuff, but that was really cool because it's my day-to-day job. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Kathleen says, comfort is important. Oh yeah, she's referring to my PJs that I have on because it's so warm. I didn't want to put on some jeans tonight. Just make it easy, breathable, and have some fun. And there you are, a different shot today, eh? Yep. Amy, that is correct. Sometimes I want to, I mean, I have 3 cameras in my studio, so typically I want to do some other stuff, start it another way a few times to make it a little bit more interesting also for you guys to watch. So that is the reason why I do that. And hey, Amy, what about your camera? Because I noticed that you have a camera also, right? And Kathleen says, I did watch it. Wasn't much this year, but that's what was expected. It can be a blockbuster every year. And I think I agree with you there, Kathleen. It was... Sometimes they have a little bit more to show, sometimes they're not so much to show. But they actually had a lot of very good stuff to show, but they were not that well emphasized. That's what I think, but we'll talk about it later. Hey Jason, what's up? How are you? Amy says, I didn't realize you had a vMix monitor in front of your table. That is cool. Yes, I did actually have that monitor right there. That is what you see. And this is also one of the reasons why I actually did this, because now you can see in full glory how close everything is, and you can also see that I'm actually switching the show all by myself via this X keys, and I think it looks great. So Floyd is also in the house, and Floyd says or asks, where's Kermit? Well, let me just say he is not in the studio at this moment. Unfortunately, I can actually show you because I do have a Kermit cam, which is right here, and there's no Kermit. So that is an unfortunate side effect, I would say. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to see him. Maybe we will see him. Whoa, what happened here? I am making something totally going wrong. Cool. Okay, love this view. You mean, I assume this view, Kathleen, the one that you see a little bit behind the scenes? Nice. And Jason says, hey team. And Jason, what's up? How are you? Hey Floyd, don't worry about it. Oh, you don't see it, but he's crying. You don't have to cry. Kermit is just probably in the living room, lying on the couch. I mean, oh my gosh, he is so huge these days. That is so impressive. He is so huge that he can actually fit to on like 2/3 of the bank is the bank. The couch and the couch is the Dutch for bank, so don't worry about it. It's, never mind. So that was a Dutch word there. Sorry about that. Kermit Cam, yeah, Kermit Cam is there still, but Kermit Cam only makes sense if he's there, right? So let me see how the time is coming, because I think we have 1 minute to go before we start the show. So I am going to do something totally different today. First of all, in the show, I will start with just to show you what I've done with the display, because I did quite a lot, and we have to do some to show that to you guys. And after that, we'll go into the WWDC and a link with another product that was introduced. So we have quite a show for you on Facebook and on YouTube, and there is an after party on Twitch. Well, after party, we're going to go a little bit more in depth on Twitch. That is basically what I wanted to do. So now comes the time that I do something that I've not been done before, because this is the pre-show, and we're going to start the show in 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. There we go. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Tech Condo. We are live every single Saturday at 9 o'clock on Facebook and on YouTube, 9:30 on Twitch with the after show, and on Twitch also on Sunday, and in the future somewhere also on another day with Petra's Music Condo. But we're now talking about Petra's Tech Condo. So wow, what a week that we had. I did quite some cool stuff. I did some testing for the Live View Solo, which we will be talking about very in depth. Why do I say very in depth? Let me tell you. Well, that is because I have been playing with this product for over 3 weeks now, and we're going to talk about what I think about it. I can tell you it's really good, but I'm a little bit different than typical people, because I also have a radio TV station, and I'm also thinking about considering to buy this as well. So this is something that I will be talking about in the future, hopefully next week or the week after. It's all depending on the interview that I have with LiveView. I have to wait for them to say that they're ready, and if that is the case, we'll do it as quickly as possible. Next to that, I wanted, before we go into the WWDC, I just wanted to, show you what I've done with my display. So what I've done is actually not, well, on this area you probably not see it too much. So this area basically is roughly the same, like so. But there you see the Mevos having a more prominent place. And if I go to the other camera, which I'm going to do right now, if it works, there we go. So if I go to the other camera, which I'll do right now, boom, there you see the Y-wing that we created last week, which of course is really cool, and I'm really looking forward to showing you more about it. And of course I also did some changes on this level, because what you can see here is that I have the Slave One and the TIE Fighter, but I also put in the Oculus Rift right in between, right there. So there were some changes there as well. And let me see if I can go to this screen camera, and then try to show you if I can show you the other system, because it's back. The Snow Speeder is back in all its glory. It's on the top position, so it's not always on the screen, but it's still one of my favorites. So that's also here in the on the display. So we have 4 things now, 4 UCS sets on my display: the Slave One, the TIE Fighter, the B-Wing, the Y-Wing, and the Snow Speeder. So that's about it. I also see that we have Andrew Johnson also in. He says, hello, can't say long. I need to put my kids down for a nap, but wanted to say hi. Hello, how are you, Andrew? Great of you to be here. Awesome of you to be taking the time for this. And I also Amy says, lots of hard work on the display now. Yes, it is definitely a lot of work. You were part of the Y-Wing build, 7 + 5 + 2 hours. That was what it took to build that thing. So wow, that was really shocking, I would say, right? Let me see. Before we start the show, Floyd says, was that an iographer on the floor behind Kermit's pillow? Yes, it definitely was behind the... let me show you that as well. There you go. Yes, it is the iographer with a Geeks Life sticker on it. And behind that you see a Commodore 64. And I also have a slider, which I will be talking about in a future episode, but just simply not now. What's the device on your, oops, on my right? This thing here? Are you talking about that? Is that what you're talking about, Amy? Is this device is what you're talking about, or is it some, or is this thing? What are you talking about? I don't know what you are talking about. So please let me know. Is the orange thing or is the black thing? That's what I need to know. So this, that at least this is my right. So that's the reason why I think it's on this side. I'll just wait for a few minutes so that you can write it down, and then we can start the show with a lot of information about WWDC. You know, I'll just tell you. So this is my awesome. Did I say awesome? I think I said awesome. Maybe I should say it one more time. Awesome. Matte mouse, which is the best brand ever if it comes to mice. And the device you use to set up the camera before switching to it. The device you... Oh, that device. Okay, yeah, good question. Well, a service for you guys. So let's make it a little bit working for you guys. So first of all, I need to make sure that the cameras are back to where they need to be. So that will be this one. Call one. Boom. There you go. Okay, so you're talking about this thing right here. Okay, that's something that I will zoom in because I use this to zoom in. This is the magical thing. So if I zoom in here live, you'll see. Let me see the other way around. Yep, there you go. A little bit further. A bit further. So that is the joystick that you can purchase to connect to your PTZ cameras, and therefore you can actually also give some presets. So if you have, for instance, a preset that I just showed you, I can actually do that like so. So say call preset 1, enter. Ta-da! Hope that helped. Amy says that's correct. Cool. Amazing mouse. Yes, it is, Floyd. This is the... this was not prepared, but hey, you guys are important to me. Yeah? So this is the RAT from Mad Catz, the RAT 8. That's one. Then I also have the RAT 7. Seriously, I have a problem with these guys. And if you think that is not enough, I actually have one more, which is get rid of this. And which is this one right here. Oops, great. There you go. Like so. This is my the new one that I purchased, and this is a very nice one as well. Look at that. I am so happy with these mice. I love them. I really, really, really do. Ah, don't let them fall. Like so. There you go. I hope that would something for you. The mouse looks like something from a Batman movie would have in his bed cave. Well, this is essentially my Batgirl cave, right? So, okay, cool. So I think I also heard Kermit. Yeah, I did hear Kermit, but let me see where he is. There he is. Maybe he's in the picture. Let me check for you guys because Kermit. Kermit. There you go. There you are. Yeah. There you go. I have to go to that place. Look at there you go. There you are. Big screen. Yep. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Or nope. Not interested. That's a waiter. Yeah. Wanna sit on my lap? Come here. Come here. Come here. There you go. Whoop. There he is. My cats. Kermit. Meet the world. Meet the world. Oopsie. Oop. He's now taking over the studio. No, don't. Kermit gives direction and not not to take it. No. Help. Don't do that, Kermit. Kermit, don't. Oh, we have a problem. You said we have a problem. Wait a sec. Okay, we have no problem. Get a drink first. All right. That was Kermit, and indeed, Amy. Kermit is beautiful. He is, and he is a cutie. Kathleen, you're right. But the thing is, once he gets around the studio, he has the tendency to put his teeth in cables, and that is something that I'm a little bit like, uh-oh, I don't want to have that. So that's the reason. Kermit is a rebel. Kermit is taking over the studio. That's what happened here. He is like the secret sauce to the show, right? All right, let's just start the show, shall we? Welcome everyone, welcome to the show, welcome to Taekwondo. It took quite a while, the pre-show, but we're here. Taekwondo.net, that's the website. My name is Petra Verbruggen, and if you want to support the show, that's possible via the same website, Taekwondo.net. We got $5, $10, and $25, so you got pretty much a lot to check it out. Like these guys did on the website, and these are what I call my roommates, and if you have not done that yet, hey, I'm not holding you back. You are really supporting this show. We do quite some cool stuff. We review stuff like, for instance, the live view. We review cameras. We talk about, we geek out on Lego and technology. And today we're going to talk about the WWDC. We have a lot of people on the chat on Facebook and on YouTube. We have Kathleen, Amy, Floyd, Jason, and where I have so much pages that I have to go to another page to see. We also had Andrew Johnson on board, so it is quite a very lot of different things here going on. Nice use of triggers, Amy says. Yes, that is definitely the case. It's all automatic. Oh. So okay, let's start the show, and let's talk about the thing that we're talking about today, and that is of course the WWDC. And what I've done is that I've broken it down into the main chapters, and I'll just start with, let's just say, maybe the least interesting one of them all, and that is the Apple TV. By the way, WWDC was really only about software this time. Personally, as a developer, I think that is a good choice. But arguably, if you look at the previous years, they occasionally did introduce a laptop or something else, and they didn't do that today. So I can imagine that you're a little bit disappointed, but looking solely at software, I think it was a interesting um, um, show. However, it was, dare I say it, a little bit nicked from Google. Dare I say that? But let's just go into the first one, and that's the Apple TV. So the Apple TV did, of course, have an upgrade, but the most important upgrade that they had was actually this one. And that is the one that is important for me as well, and that is the sound. And sound is such a immensely important thing if it comes to being into a movie, being into a series. What they had done is that they introduced the Dolby Atmos on the Apple TV, and that is a very interesting thing. So if you have a Atmos speaker, you can actually do it. And so I am actually also in the market for a speaker for my television set I got from my uncle who last year passed away, a 4K TV. Thanks. Really great of him, but of course, having a 4K TV, I also want to have great audio. And unfortunately, my hi-fi set, my sound set, is roughly, I would say, 15 years old now. So it does not have an HDMI connector for audio. So that makes a bit of an issue, and I don't want to do everything new because my audio set is really about audio, and I love music, so I don't care it doesn't have an HDMI port. But it does mean that I cannot hear great audio for movies, which I also like to look at. So this is a big of a deal for me, and so I am actually looking for a soundbar. These soundbars are not that. They don't have to be that expensive because you can have a really nice one from Sony or from Samsung, from LG. So last week there was also another announcement from another company, not WWDC, and I'm going to connect these two with each other, and that is Sonos, who actually also did a release of the Beam. And at first I was like, oh, that's it. I love the price. $400. That's not a lot. It plays music. It has the Echo connection in there as well from Amazon. It has AirPlay. It has everything that my heart desires, except for one thing. It does not have Atmos, and that is something that I'm a little bit like. I like to have great audio, and now this is a issue, right? I like Sonos. I have Sonos speakers right here in the studio. They're blasting me away. I love them, but they for movies, the Atmos thing is much better. So let me see. You have some comments already. WWDC could have been a press release. Oh, wow. Do you really mean that, Jason? I think you might be right for a few of the things that they had. I think this one for the Apple TV, which I just start with, I totally agree with that. But looking at the other stuff that they released, I think that a press release is not that it's a little bit more exciting for me about that. I'm excited about the watch updates. Okay, we'll touch about about those as well. And please, in the meantime, Jason, tell me why you're so interested in those watch updates. What is that in there for you? And Amy just said, I just purchased a soundbar for my TV, also one for my iMac. Oh. So you can actually have a soundbar for your iMac. What brand would that be, Amy? That's interesting. I would love to see that. Hey, David, what's up? How are you? David is also checking in. Cool of you to be here. Floyd says, Apple WWDC was a little flat for me, nothing world changing. Even Elizabeth didn't seem very interested in the Lego VR, but did interrupt. Okay, yeah, I mean, of course, I did like the Lego VR because it's Lego, but I can imagine, right? So this is the Apple TV, so not so much interesting stuff around there, and I connected it with the Beam, which is a very nice product, I think. If you have, and that's the thing that I am a little bit worried about, which is again something totally new, HDMI ARC. That is for audio remote control. I have never heard of that thing, and I don't think that I have that. So I'm sure I am a little bit worried about if I want to have this thing because of that. But on paper, this looks really nice, especially the Echo and addition, which I'm not going to tell because it's a keyword. It looks really nice. Okay, so that is the Apple TV and a little bit of audio there as well. And now you know that I am actually really interested in purchasing a soundbar for my TV. So if you have something that say, hey, this is especially for you and it has Dolby Atmos, I'm interested. Jason says, I like how the Apple Watch will auto start and finish workouts. I always forget to start my workout. Yep, that is indeed, you're right. That is indeed a powerful thing. I totally agree with you. All right, moving on to, of course, another thing which is important is the iOS 10, or sorry, iOS 12. That's it, iOS 12. So I would say that this is a maintenance release, so to speak. So it's not a feature-rich update, but it's really more about under the hood improvements, and that's exactly what they say over here. Speed up the things you do every day. Up to 70% faster swipe on camera, 50% faster keyboard display, and 2 times faster app launch under heavy workload, which I think it's really, really important. What I do like these days about the upgrades of macOS, but also Windows, is that they typically have this tick-tock strategy, right? Like, I'm using this because I know Intel does it as well. Tick is then the new feature. Talk is more improvement on the new feature, right? So making it faster, making it more efficient, that kind of stuff. And I really like that in these upgrades. And looking again at FaceTime, I think, sorry, at iOS, I think it's a great. Well, why did I say FaceTime? Because of course FaceTime has now 32 people at once, which I think is a lot. I don't know how they can manage that. I mean, I have a lot of problems with that. Anyhow, oh, by the way, we will have a post show which will go more in depth if you want. So I'm going to go fast because we took quite some time in the pre-show. But hey, we'll just talk about it anyway. So Animoji was a big thing. You can actually put in yourself, so you can make, in my case, a red-haired person, and that is great. And you can also put it into the, of course, live. You can also show it live. And one of the things that I really like, and which I think is very important, and I don't know if you guys agree, but I think that AR is really the way forward for a lot of things. And this is what it looks like. So you can actually have 2 iPads or more iPads playing with each other in an area. They are aware of each other, but most importantly of all, they're not connecting to the cloud. So unlike the Google infrastructure is where they actually go into the cloud and get the data from there. They actually have a network which is local to make this happen, which I think is a great thing. Yes, so that is that. That is the AR part. And of course, the biggest announcement I think on the iOS is, of course, that you now can see your usage and you can also get notifications, more compulsory notifications that you might want to do something else with your time at this moment. Like, for instance, read a book or go outside and play, that kind of stuff. So I think that that is really important. Another thing which is amazingly important, but I don't know why it took so long, is of course the stack of notifications. They finally have the notifications stacked so that they can actually be easily maintainable, which I think is a very good addition. So I'm really happy with that. And they finally did it. It took quite some time before they could do that. Let me see what they have more, what I wanted to talk about. We can definitely talk a little bit more during the post show. Those are the key points, I would say. Then another thing that we have to talk about is, of course, the new how do you say that? The new Mac OS, which is this one, Mojave. Simply powerful. It has a desktop that changes from day to night over time. It does it perfectly, seamlessly, and I think that is great. Like so. So you have different stages of the same picture on your desktop, which I think is great. Another thing which I personally think it's the best thing that they have introduced to macOS, even though it is very small, is dark mode. Yes, finally. I really like to have dark mode because it enables me to, be there and really be delved into the content. So that is what I like about that. Other thing, and this is, by the way, this is what it looks like if you are on Finder. So on the right hand side, the white one is the current version, and the black side is the new way of looking at it, and I really like that. Let me see what we have more. Also, of course, we have a new way of organizing the icons, and that is by stacks. So let me show you how it looks like. So boom, like so. So you can actually have multiple stacks of the same same items, like the file types. Or alternatively, if you have tags, you can also sort them by tags, and that makes it easier to combine everything. Amy agrees with me. She uses dark mode everywhere she can. That is great. Thank you for sharing. That is, yeah, I think for us, especially for content creators, this is very much important. So yes. Let me see what we have more. Oh yes, of course, you can actually in the preview you can now also add like notes and do some magnifying and that kind of stuff. That's all integrated. So Droppler, sorry, you're not needed anymore. So that is a good thing, I think. Let me see if we have more. Oh yeah, here you have it. So you can edit files without opening it. That's what I meant. Here you have an example where you can swipe things through, say I want to have it separate, that kind of stuff. That is all possible within OS, macOS, Mojave. Did I? I don't know how to pronounce that. Mojave. So let me see if there's another thing that stands out. Yeah, so another thing, which this is the example, but that is not important. I mean, Apple News, I don't care about that, to be quite honest. That's like dull. But the cool part is that this is actually based on an iOS application. Now, before you say, are you going to move iOS to macOS applications? No, that is not the case. They're not going to be merged. They will be separate. However, because of the fact that 90% is already the same, they both use the same kernel, the Darwin kernel. So it makes perfect sense that you only need to have some additions to port it to another system, and that's exactly what they are planning to do. This year it's going to be only Apple products that are migrated, but next year also our third-party applications will be moved, which I think it's really an interesting concept. Because I didn't really think about the combination of macOS and OS X, because I don't believe in that, but this I actually do believe in there. And then they talked about a new macOS App Store, which you know, security, GDPR is of course important, and there's a lot of other stuff there as well. So there you have it. So that is those are a few things, and of course, because Jason was talking about it, I also will briefly touch on the Watch OS 5, and you can actually have now a competition with other people that you're friends with, so you can have a little bit more of a push to do more than you actually wanted to do. Like for instance, this morning I actually went to the gym, which I do every Saturday morning, most of the time. Sometimes I forget. But then it's always great if you have a little bit of a competition, so that it gives you a little bit more of a push to do a little bit more than you actually want. So that is, I think, great. So you can have your own competition with your own celebrations, which I think is great. It has all kinds of advanced running features. They have workout features, running features, really a lot of differences, but it's all about sports, a lot about sports. But one thing is additional is that you can also now hear podcasts on WatchOS, which I think is really interesting, because that makes perfect sense. Because if you're running, you want to listen to something audio, and sometimes you want to listen to a great show. So that I can understand. Walkie-talkie, I don't see a benefit for that, unfortunately. Would you see a benefit of that? I don't know. And Siri is a little bit smarter, and of course notifications have been improved. And those are basically it. And of course the one that Jason just talked about, that it's more smart when it comes to add new. If you're starting a workout or stopping a workout, it will trigger that, and it will know that. So this is a short version of the WWDC. On a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 is great, 0 is sucks, and from 5 onwards, I would say this is a 7, maybe a 6.5. I was not that pleased with the WWDC this time around, but looking only solely at the software, and especially on iOS with the performance improvements, and the machine learning, which I didn't talk about during this show, the machine learning, that is the most important thing. I have a lot of interest in what will happen there. I mean, it is already like this, is that if I drive on Saturday morning from the radio station to the gym, my watch knows I will do that. And I didn't even put in an agenda item in my calendar. So it knows it because I do it like every week, right? So that is great. Yeah, and Siri has triggers now. Indeed, that is also a good one, Jason. I forgot about that one. The trigger one is really interesting because you can actually just by saying something, you can have quite some things that it will do, like turn on the heater, for instance, that kind of stuff, which I think is great. So this is the short version of the WWDC. I hope that you liked it. Next week we will be again here on Saturday at 9 p.m. Central European Time. That is 3 p.m. if you live on Eastern board of the U.S. or at noon if you live on the Western board of the U.S. And like always, I'm a little bit late, 5 minutes late, but we will have an after party on Twitch. So let's just close the stream and move over to Twitch. That is twitch.tv/techcondo. I'll repeat that for you. Twitch.tv/techcondo. Let's see you there and see you next week on Facebook and on YouTube. And tomorrow, IRL stream on Twitch. What's going on?